Hey everybody, welcome back. This is MYR, and what we're going to be doing in this video is creating some down sweeps and up sweeps to add some more tension to the track. So this is what the down sweep sounds like. And you can hear it there with the sidechain compressor. So let me take the sidechain compressor off for the up sweep. And layered with the rest of the sound. Cool. So let's go ahead and get started. And before I do this, what I find is it's helpful to layer this with a crash cymbal first. And the crash cymbal will generally take care of the mid frequencies, whereas the sweep that we're going to make will generally take care of the kind of higher frequencies. So I'm going to create a new audio track. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go here under my samples, and I'm going to go here under ReOrder's his first pack. He's got this crashes and reverse crashes. And what I'm just going to do is try to find basically a simple 909 crash. That's good. So I'm going to put that here. And basically we're just going to use this kind of in the different spots. I like having these every 8 bars. So I'm just going to kind of basically push this here. And then what I'm also going to do, I'm going to duplicate this channel and delete this. And we're also going to get a reverse crash. And this just kind of helps to give it a little bit of, I guess, tension. This one's good, so we're just going to put this here. And I find it helps to kind of line this up so that it kind of, I guess, just hits at this point. So this is going to be our reverse crash, and I'm going to just group these into a group that I'm just going to call, oops, FX. So the reason I'm doing this once again is just so we can hear what it's going to sound like where we're going to put the sweep. So let's go ahead and mix this. Actually, I'll start by bringing this to -3, and we'll just bring this in. Let's hear the reverse crash. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for, but it does sound a little empty without the sweep. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate my initial preset, and we're just going to call this sweeps. And what I'm going to do is create the same sound, and I'm just going to use the mod wheel to control the actual sweep amount. So we're just going to give this a color. I like making most of my effects in green, and drums I kind of do red. And I'm just going to take this note here. Rather than call this acid, I'm going to call this sweep. And really, what I want is just a long sustained note. The note doesn't matter, but I like just kind of putting it, around middle C. I think that's just pretty standard. That way, in case, I don't know, that's just kind of standard to just put it at the default note. And I generally make this about 4 bars long for now. And we can duplicate this if we need it. So right now what it just sounds like, not like a sweep at all. So this is a very easy sound to make. We're going to switch this to the noise oscillator. And we want to turn off key tracking because we don't want this noise following the key that we press. We instead want it to be, I guess, not following the key we press. So I'm going to adjust this noise to have a little bit of high cut because I don't want that low end in. That's good. And let's see if adding this wide helps. So that's cool. We can add a little bit of wideness to the sound, even with just one voice. That's pretty much the basics of the sound. Rather than using envelope 3 to control the cutoff, which I don't want to do, What I'm going to do is have the mod wheel control the cutoff. So I'm going to map this to cutoff 1. But we need to choose the right filter. And I like choosing a bandpass filter for this because the bandpass filter is going to cut off the low and the high. So what I'll do is start at the highest point I want it. There, and then basically, actually I'm doing this backwards. I want this to start at the lowest point, and then as we increase the mod wheel, we want to set this to the maximal point. Like that. Now when we move the mod wheel, we get exactly the sweep we are looking for. So this is the basic part of the sound. We don't really need anything else too much. I am going to turn on the delay and the reverb. So the delay, once again, just to kind of pan the sound around. I like doing just eighth note delay. We can turn up the feedback. Sounds good. And the reverb, once again, this really helps the sound. Doesn't really matter about the pre-delay, but we do want a long decay on this. And I'm going to turn the damping down just so that way we get a lot of that high-end energy coming through. Sounding pretty good. You can hear it there with the delay. And moving over to the EQ section, we don't really need to change the sound too much. I am going to turn on the multiband compressor though. Sounding good. I am going to turn the delay down. I don't think we need all that much delay. That's sounding good. And what I'm going to do here is take this note and just make it twice as long. So we'll just extend this and basically make this 8 bars because I want this to be an 8-bar sweep. Going back to the actual channel itself, what we're going to do is we just want to map the mod wheel to the cutoff, which we've done, but we now need to do this with the automation. So I'm going to hit the configure button, wiggle the mod wheel around. You can check in your DAW how, if you're not using live, how to do this. And now we've mapped the mod wheel to the cutoff. So for a down sweep, we start it open based on how we've mapped it, and we lower it down like this. And of course, for an up sweep, we do the opposite. So we start it low and we move it up high like this. And this is basically what we're going to have going through. I'm going to turn off the automation lock. That way, when I duplicate these, it'll duplicate it with the automation, and we kind of see the automation coming through. So let's hear what it sounds like now. Sounding good. One of the things I'm going to do is take the sidechain compressor from our acid line, and I'm just going to paste it here on the sweep, so that way we actually get the sidechain. It'll kind of be pumping with the sound. Sounding good. I am going to bring this threshold up maybe about 3 or 4 dB, just it's pumping a little too much for my taste. And yeah, going back into the sound here, what the last thing I want to do is, I didn't think about this, but I think I want the volume to start low and eventually turn up. So what I'm going to do, map oscillator 1, right click and dragging to the mod wheel, and just turn it up all the way. That way when I open the mod wheel, it kind of dies off in volume as I close it. So once again, what I'm doing is positive amplitude modulation when I open the mod wheel. So that's what that should be. Now let's take a listen to what it sounds like. And I may need to bring this down in volume because I am making it louder. So let's just bring this to -3. Notice how I don't use the down sweep here. I'm using this as an up sweep instead. I kind of alternate. Comes the up sweep again. Sounding good. I'm just gonna rename these for clarity. That's a down sweep, this is an up sweep, but we don't need it. Once again there with the automation, just so we're clear on what these are. I can assign them a color too. Anyways, hope you found this video helpful. In the next video, what we're going to be doing is creating a pitch riser to lead into the main section of our song, and maybe right here at the end of this sort of main section here. Thanks so much for watching.